All right, so this is SOCE311, Establish and Manage a Practice. This is the webinar for week number 2. This is your very first webinar. Welcome, and thank you so much for coming along and for taking time out of your Tuesday to come and have a chat to me. My name is Samantha Wood. For those of you who haven't met me in a webinar before, I am the National E-Learning Engagement Specialist. So I am working on the Melbourne campus. A little bit about me, I studied nutrition at Endeavour. Once I finished, I started my nutrition business and consultancy clients. I also work a little bit with other businesses as well, so I work within the hospitality industry as well, which is pretty interesting. I have just completed some postgrad study in evidence-based complementary medicine, and like I said before, I'm working on Melbourne campus as the e-learning engagement specialist. So all of the academics that you come across in your online subjects, they're essentially my team. So I am helping to make sure that they're making your lives as easy as they can be, and that they are attentive to you and answer all of your questions and basically do all of the wonderful things that you love for them to do as your online academic. So if you have any questions for me throughout this session or even after the session, you're very welcome to contact me. Of course, you have your academic in this subject, and your academic is Alistair Gray. Now, you can learn a little bit more about Alistair by clicking here on this Welcome from Your Tutor, Alistair Gray, and you'll see a video of him here. He's chatting to you, talking to you about what he's done in his life as well. He has run businesses in lots of different parts of the world, and he has such a huge amount of knowledge about businesses in the complementary and alternative medicine industry. He's written books on case taking for homeopathy, and really is just a wonderful person to utilize in this subject. So please do take advantage of all of the fantastic knowledge that Alistair has for you. Please do have a look at the things that he shares on the loop, and contact him whenever you have a question, even if you just want to say hello, because he really is a great person to connect with and chat to. So that's how you find out more about Alistair. To find out who your subject coordinator is, you click onto your subject outline, and you'll see that Adrian Large in Perth is your subject coordinator. So that's where you can find that information. On the subject outline as well, you can see who actually studies this this subject. So you can have a look at this right up the top, and you'll see that we've got people from naturopathy, acupuncture, homeopathy, nutritional medicine, Western herbal med, musculoskeletal therapy, and sometimes people from the Bachelor of Complementary Medicine can elect to do this subject as well. So just while I'm giving a couple of introductions, can I get you to write in what degree are you currently doing? You're doing naturopathy or acupuncture? Write in and let me know, just so I can make what I'm talking about a little bit more specific to you guys. You'll see, if you scroll down a little further, you'll see the subject rationale and the learning outcomes. I'm hoping that you'll all take the time to have a little read through these. You'll see that the learning outcomes actually correspond to the assessment tasks. So you'll see that we're addressing learning outcome 3 and 4 in the first assessment, which is the application of legal, regulatory and ethical principles to a case scenario. We're looking at outcomes 1, 2 and 3 for the business plan, and we've got the final exam covering outcomes 2, 3, 4 and 5. So they are your assessment tasks. I'll go through them in a little bit more detail a little bit later, but if you have any questions about that, please do think of them now, so you can ask me in just a moment. We've got our prescribed readings. We have Medhurst and Weir. If you're having trouble getting any of them, do chat to the bookstore and also have a chat to the library, just in case the library happens to have a copy of it for you. We've got recommended readings here that you can use. These are not essential, but if you want some more information, then definitely have a look at them. All right, so I've got Lily doing nutrition, Hannah doing naturopathy, and Monique doing nutrition. By which degree are you studying? If you can find the questions box and write that in. That would be wonderful. Now, continuing on this subject outline, if you scroll through, you'll see a summary of what we're doing each session. So very first session was establishing a professional practice. Session number 2 that you're in at the moment is business planning, and next week we're looking at legal aspects. So there's a little intro to the subject, and like I said, at any point throughout this session, write in if you have questions, you want to make a comment, or you want to, I don't know, laugh at something that I've said. If you feel so inclined, please do write it in the questions box. Even if I've moved on to another page, I will come back to your question. I do know that sometimes it takes a little while to type in. So today I'm firstly going to see how you're going and how you're feeling. Going to see if you have any questions. I'll just be reminding you of that throughout the whole session. I want to talk about the principles of an integrated business practice as well as planning, looking at the business plan assessment expectations as well as your other assessments as well. But I also want to have a look at the business type, setup, location, vision and mission description, which you'll notice are some of the first components of your business plan. So what I'd love to do for you is I'd love to show you how you can make this business plan assignment as stress-free as possible. I'll show you a little trick about the way that the plan is set up, and hopefully that will help you out significantly while you're doing the assignment. So my very first question to you is, how are you going? How are you feeling? We're week number 2. Some of you may have on-campus exams. Some of you may be doing clinic. How are you feeling so far with this subject? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling really good? Are you enjoying the content so far? Are you finding anything confusing so far? So if you can, I would absolutely love it if you can write in the questions box just a couple of words. You don't need to be very detailed unless, of course, you want to be. So just let me know how you're going. Is there anything you're struggling with at the moment? Fantastic. So Hannah says, enjoying the topics we are learning. Wonderful. Anybody else, how are you feeling? Lily says, feeling good about this subject. I'm finding it really interesting to learn about the business aspect. Fantastic. And for those of you who are still writing in, please do keep writing in. Bo says, first time online learning, so I'm nervous. Well, hopefully this will make you feel a little bit better. Hopefully I will be able to demystify some of the aspects to online learning. If, of course, you have any questions, I'm going to keep reminding you all the way through this. If there's anything at all I can help you with, please do write it in. Monique says, no struggles as yet. Wonderful. All right, so technical questions. If there's anything you need help with throughout this subject, anything technical that has perhaps gone wrong or isn't working for you on your computer, you can scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen on the LMS. You'll see LMS support, the link to the online help desk, and a phone number. Now, this is on every page of the LMS. So if in doubt, it's even on the very first login page. So even if you can't log in, you'll be able to contact the online help desk. So help is always there if you need it. And of course, you will have a message my teacher section up the top here that will have Alistair's name and photo in there. So you can contact him at any point if you're having any trouble. Just click on his name and a message will pop up for you to write in. Of course, any questions throughout, please do let me know. So weeks 1 to 4, like I was saying before on the subject outline, this is what we're going to be covering, weeks 1 to 4. Last week we looked at establishing a practice. This week we're looking at planning. Next week we're looking at legal aspects. So what kind of business are you planning for is the first question that I want us to start thinking about. So I'm going to ask you exactly that question. And again, if you can just write in a few words, you don't need to be incredibly descriptive, but what do you plan to do when you finish? I know that most of you will probably be towards the end of your studies now, but I just want to ask you, what do you want to do? Do you want to go into practice? Do you want to practice focusing on a certain group of people? Do you want to write cookbooks? Do you want to start a blog? Do you want to start a YouTube channel? Do you want to open a health retreat? Do you want to open a store? Do you want to run a mobile health consulting business? What do you want to do? What are the endless things, endless opportunities that you'd like to take advantage of? And the reason that I'm asking you this is because I want you to also have a think about what you wanted to do at the beginning of your degree. So after you've answered the question of what do you want to do when you finished, the next question is, what did you want to do when you came in and first started this degree? Has your goal remained the same? Has your goal changed significantly? Did you not have a goal when you first started? How similar or different is your plan now to when you first started? So Hannah, thank you so much for writing in. Hannah has written, still a year to go, but possibly looking to integrate into the public health sector. Fantastic. And Hannah has said initially she wanted to integrate naturopathy into primary schools. So it's changed slightly, but still looking at the bigger picture. Wonderful. So anybody else, what are you wanting to do? And what did you want to do, and how has it changed, if it has changed? Now, while you're writing that in, I want to let you know the reason why I've asked this question and the reason why I need you to focus on the answer to those questions. And that is that this subject is not just a hurdle that you need to jump over. It's not just an assignment that you need to submit. It's not just another box for you to tick. This is going to help you actually realize the reason that you came here and studied. This is going to help you actually do the things that you want to do without planning and without even just sitting down and reflecting to a certain extent. You're not going to be able to do what you want to do effectively and with minimal hiccups. This is what's going to help you actually see out the reason for you studying what you're studying. This is going to allow you to help the people that you wanted to help when you started. It's going to help you make the connections that you wanted to make when you first started. So this whole thing, I really, really don't want you to look at this assignment, this business plan assignment, as just some big inconvenience. I want you to look at this as a beautiful opportunity to sort out what you're going to do and to clarify a couple of points and to troubleshoot things before they actually arise. And I can speak from experience. I did this subject when I studied at Endeavour. It was called something different and it was structured slightly differently, but it still had a business plan aspect. And I can tell you now that what I learned from this subject and what I was able to apply when I was first starting my business made everything so much easier. I've seen so many people fall down in so many areas that are just so simple. There's people out there who didn't realize that you need to have an intake form for your clients. You need to have a signature of their consent. You need to have professional indemnity insurance. There's all sorts of things that at the end of this subject will seem so common sense to you, but it's very, very shocking to see that there are some people who, without doing a subject like this, can miss some really, really vital aspects to a business to not only protect your clients, but to protect yourself. So I've had Lily write in saying, I want to combine nutrition with personal training. And Lily has continued to say, I started studying naturopathy and changed to nutrition because I found I was more passionate about nutrition and wanted to help educate people to eat healthy. I love it, Lily. Monique says, I would love to take a break and follow some other interests after I finish, but eventually I'd like to pursue specializing in the treatment of clients with autoimmune conditions. That is absolutely fascinating, and there's such a need for that, Monique. Monique continues on to say, I started the degree to become educated enough to manage my own condition. Fantastic. How are you going with managing your own condition? Have you managed to learn some things that are helpful for your condition? And thank you so much for sharing that, Monique. So like I was saying, the moral of that story is that I want you to continue focusing on those goals, those things that you've just written in there, and I want you to use this subject to your advantage. I want you to, every week, whenever something comes up, whenever a new topic comes up, I want you to focus on how you are going to apply that to your business and to your life from here on out. It really is, business skills really are very underrated in the natural health system, and it's very, very clear to see the people who have done some study in business compared to those who haven't. And even just understanding how to market yourself really effectively is going to be so, so important for you, because as much as we want to just focus on helping people and focus on making sure we've got the right herb or nutrient, we're not going to get a chance to do that if we don't have people walking through our door and actually paying us money to continue our business, and also just being there so we can give them the advice that we've studied so hard to learn. So this is the reason for doing the subject. This is why it's important. And I hope that I can show you through my own experience and through experience of other people that I can luckily tell stories on behalf of. I hope you understand why this subject is really important, and I hope you're very excited to begin working your way through this subject, and I hope you're very excited to begin your business plan. So the questions that are on the page at the moment are sort of a continuation of what we've already had a talk about. So what is your motivation for starting the business? I know that now you've already talked a little bit about what you want to do and why you started studying, but I guess I want to know what's the motivation behind it. Now, I know that Lily has said that she wants to help educate people to eat and live a more healthy lifestyle. We've got Monique initially wanting to help out her own condition, but has now wanted to help out other people with potentially similar conditions. And we've got Hannah wanting to integrate into the public health sector. What other motivations do you have for actually pursuing this career and pursuing this business? I know that you've mentioned what you want to do, but what's the actual motivation here? And you may all have a fairly similar motivation of actually, helping people, full stop. And Bo says to spread Chinese medicine. I love it. To really get Chinese medicine well known in Australia. Fantastic idea. And Hannah has said, I want to make what we are studying more common knowledge. Lovely. I love seeing things like, like that sugar film. And if you haven't seen that, it's a wonderful thing. You should watch it. Things like films like Super Size Me. People like Jamie Oliver, who although aren't qualified in the industry, are still people who want to spread the word about healthy eating and a healthy lifestyle. Is there a particular demographic of people that you want to help? I know sometimes people are very, very passionate about fertility, helping people with fertility and helping them conceive. There's people who are very passionate about pre- and postnatal health. There are some people who are really passionate about helping those who are perhaps overweight, those who have chronic health conditions. Lily says the motivation is to help and educate people, to steer people away from following what the media promotes and assist them in making informed choices on their own. That is beautiful, Lily. I'm really excited about that idea, and I think that it's really fantastic that you can take what you're learning, that all of you can take what you're learning here, and you can help educate people on the way to make their own decisions. So we are never in the position to purely just tell people what they should be doing. We need to be in the position to actually teach people why they should be doing that, so they can then go ahead and make the decision without having you tell them exactly what to do. So we've got a couple of more questions here on this page, but these are the ones that I want you to have a little bit of a think about throughout this session and also after this session has finished. So of course, then we've got another question of what is the purpose of your business? And I know that that sort of seems like we're asking the same question over and over again. But the purpose and the motivation are slightly different. So I just want you to have a little bit of a think about you know, all of the details of your business. What is it exactly that you want to do? Who exactly do you want to help? Why is that? And have a think about that. Do a little mind map away from this session, and that will get you even more motivated to start working on this business idea. I want you to also have a look at the disadvantages and the advantages of the idea that you have. See whether you are perhaps being too specialized, perhaps you're not specialized enough, perhaps it's in an area that's already oversaturated, or perhaps it's in an area that we really, really need more of this natural health attention. So just have a think of them, do some mind mapping, and see how you go. So the key areas of a business practice, this is all going to be incredibly different to the other things that you've been studying. So you've been spending a long time trying to figure out exactly where to put acupuncture needles, you know, which nutrients do what, which herbs do what, you know, how to consult with people, how to talk to clients. But now when you start looking at how to run a business, you need to know about how to juggle actually being an administrator of a business and being the healer and the practitioner within the business. You need to know about finance and operations and sales and marketing and law and ethics and HR. You need to learn leadership and motivational skills. You need to learn what sort of legal accountability is required. There are so many different areas of a business practice that you may or may not have been exposed to as yet. So I just want to start as well by asking you guys, has anyone or is anyone currently running or have run a business before? Have you got any experience in running a business? Also, another thing that might be good is to have a look and see whether any of your past work experience could help you with running a business. Perhaps you've worked in administration or in reception, in sales or marketing, or any of these topics that are up on the screen at the moment. Have you worked in any of those areas? And it's absolutely no disadvantage to you if you haven't. That's the whole point of doing this subject, so we can teach you all of these things. And so you can then apply them a little bit later. Now, you are, of course, going to be putting on a couple of different hats to what you have been wearing lately. So Lily's just written in saying, nope, haven't got any of those past work experience. Hannah has said, my family has a business, been exposed to behind the scenes of running a business. Fantastic. That's a really good skill to have. So you'll be putting on some different hats here. You are not only the practitioner or the expert that is applying the knowledge and skills to the actual client sitting in front of you. You also need to be the manager. So you need to keep an orderly and productive business using some of the skills that we talked about on this page earlier. You're also going to need to be the entrepreneur. So you need to be the marketer. You need to be the one with the ideas and the creativity and the energy and the motivation to keep the business running and functioning wonderfully well. Now, the next part that we need you to consider is what business type are you wanting to be to create? So you've got your sole trader, you've got your partnership, limited liability company, and you can be a contractor as well. So there's lots of things to consider when you're going to choose what to be. Of course, you've got the consideration of what sort of funds you have to begin with. So setting up a sole trader is free. All you need to do is register for an ABN. You need to have a look at what type of law is going to affect each of these different companies, what sort of tax you're going to have to do for each of these companies and for each of these business types, sorry, and what sort of liabilities you have within each of these. Now, if you are a sole trader, you have full liability. Lily, fantastic. Lily has just said, I don't really understand a limited liability company. Wonderful. I would love to talk to you about this. So the benefits of having a limited liability company, I'm just going to give you a quick summary because there is a lot that you can read about this. Now, a limited liability company does cost money to set up. I think it's about $2,000 to set up. But the benefit to this is that the company is just as it says it is, it has a limited liability. So if anything happens to go wrong within the company, if perhaps finances don't work out for you and perhaps you end up owing some money, perhaps something doesn't go very well within one of your consultations and you have a client that wants to sue you. Perhaps one of your treatments didn't work out so well. Perhaps someone gets injured at your workplace. You, of course, have your professional indemnity insurance and your public liability insurance, but there are limitations to those insurances, and it is not always guaranteed that they will cover you for everything. And if by chance something happens, whether it's someone gets injured, a treatment is performed incorrectly, or perhaps it is a financial thing, if you are not covered by the insurance that you get, you can essentially be sued for your personal possessions if you are a sole trader, because there is no differentiation between you and the business. If you are in a limited liability company, the only thing that anyone, if they wanted to sue you or if they wanted to get money from you, the only thing that they can access is whatever is actually within the company. So they can only access the company's bank accounts. They cannot access any of your personal bank accounts or your personal possessions as long as it's set up correctly. So the differences between a sole trader and a limited liability company is that a sole trader is free to set up. A limited liability company costs money to set up. But a limited liability company protects your personal assets and the sole trader does not. So there are things to consider here, and it's definitely worth reading a lot more into. I am a huge fan of limited liability companies. I think that that is an incredibly smart decision to make to decide to set up a company. Now, the thing is, if you begin as a sole trader, you can always set up as a company a year down the track, 6 months down the track, 5 years down the track. Whenever you decide that you want to, whenever perhaps you have the funds to do it, you can transfer everything across to be a company. And that's absolutely fine. That's completely up to you. But there are certainly more things that you should have a read about within the companies, and within company trust structures are also things to have a look at. But there are a lot more ways that you can protect yourself, your business and your personal assets by using a limited liability company structure as opposed to a sole trader structure. Most people doing their business plan here, I see, actually prefer to use a sole trader setup purely because it's easier to set up. All you've got to do is go onto the business.gov website and register for an ABN, and then you're set up. The differences between having an ABN for a sole trader and what's required for a limited liability company is you actually end up with an ACN, which is an Australian company number for being a limited liability company. Lily, have I helped answer some of your questions about the limited liability company, and do you have any more questions on that? Does anybody have any more questions on that? Because it really, really is an important thing to know about. It's a really important thing that you understand the differences between these types of things. With a partnership, of course, you can go into a partnership without being a company, but you can also go into a partnership with being a limited liability company. When you are a contractor, you can be a company that then contracts out their service, and you can be a sole trader who contracts out their service as well. So lots and lots of different options for you. I would really, really strongly recommend that everybody, even if you're not going to register as a limited liability company, please have a read about it. Please learn about it. Please become familiar with the advantages of becoming a limited liability company, and also please be aware of the fees that are associated with it. But I think that it is so essential for you to understand what each of these different business types can do for you. Okay, really, really important. This could mean the difference between how protected and secure your assets are and your company is. Wonderful, good, Lily. If you have any questions a little bit later about that, then please do ask me. Initial costs, the costs of running a business. So there are, of course, initial costs. If you choose to set up a limited liability company, you have the initial cost of actually setting that up. And if you don't and you choose to be a sole trader, there are going to be other initial costs. So there'll be things that you may not expect to come up as costs. So perhaps if you decide that you are working at a place that you get free rent, that's great. You're probably still going to have some other outgoing initial costs. So you need to be accredited, you need to get your insurance, you need to probably buy some pens and some paper. Perhaps you need to buy a desk or a laptop, or you need to get better internet connection or a bigger cap on your phone bill. There are always initial costs, and you really do need to have a big brainstorm about what those costs are, because you do not want to be taken off guard by your costs. So we've got some examples of different costs over here on the right hand side. So we've got costs for setting up stock if you want to have a dispensary. Of course, if you're doing acupuncture, you're probably going to need to buy needles and alcohol swabs. Perhaps you need to buy another stethoscope or a tongue depressor or an iris viewer microscope. What am I talking about? Iris torch. That's what I'm talking about. Do you need any other fixtures? Do you need a desk or a chair or a phone? What's your rent like? What other things do you legally need to do that actually cost you money? You need to also have a look at registering your business name. You need to also have a look at how much money you have in the bank as well, or how much money you have available for actually running this business. Because the thing is, you're going to need to have enough money to cover yourself for if you have some pretty quiet initial first months, which, if we're very realistic, is a very serious thing that you need to consider. Perhaps you won't have any income in the first couple of months, and you need to have enough money to be able to cover yourself. Otherwise, your business won't be lasting very long. So if you don't have some sort of plan to allow the business to continue running, even if you don't have any money coming in, then you won't be getting very far. The other thing is that we'll be having a look in the financial section with the break-even point, and you must understand that there is going to be a period of time where you will be in debt, and you will not be breaking even on your business initially, and that's where you need to have enough money coming in and enough money set aside to make sure that you can support the business if you'd like to continue with the business, keeping it going. So I want to talk to you about the assessment overview. So I'm going to go into the LMS, and I'm just going to show you, you've got your case study, you've got your business plan, and you've got your final on-campus exam. So the details of that are going to be posted by me on the notice board and on the loop a little bit later in the subject, but they will be within the exam week that is specified on the 2015 online calendar. So if you go up to help, you go to online HE calendar 2015. You have a look at, you started in the November cohort. Your exam week is going to begin on the 22nd of February. So please don't book any holidays or business trips or anything within that time until you've actually seen the date that is published. Okay? Your case study, I'm going to open that up, and your business plan. I want to spend most of the time on the business plan because I think that's something that most people are nervous about. But I just want to quickly run through this case study. It is due in week 7, so Sunday at 11:55 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time in week 7. It is worth 25% of your total marks. It gives you 50 marks in this subject. You have 1,200 words plus or minus 10%, so a maximum of 1,320 words. Your task is to read the case study. You've also got some reading lists, and you've got other articles. You've got your marking guide here as well that you can have a look at. But you need to read the case study, you need to do the readings, and then you need to answer these 4 questions. Now, we're going to go into a lot more detail with these in the subsequent webinars, but just to give you a little overview to get you on the right track with this right now. You've got 4 questions here. You need to look at what the ethical issues are that are raised by the case. You then need to look at the issues that you identified and pick one and focus on what that means for the practitioner and the client. You then need to identify if any criminal offence has occurred and explain why you think it's so and what legal organisation is best suited to deal with the behaviour of the practitioner. Then the final question is, what's the most appropriate first step for the client to take after she left the clinic? So do go through and read the case study. Make sure you ask Alistair if you've got any questions, and also you're very welcome to ask me now or in the subsequent webinar sessions. Now, the thing that I want to talk to you about and spend the most time on here is your business plan assignment. So I've got both the specification and the marking guide up, and I'm also going to get up the subject outline, and you will see why in just a moment. So getting the subject outline up. Okay, so first things first, I'll talk you through the formalities of this assignment. There are 2 parts to the assignment. They are both submitted at the same time, though. They're just separated into 2 different parts for our marking purposes. They are due at the end of week 14, and it is to be uploaded by Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I just want to check. Sorry, session 13. So it says on here, week 14 of semester 1. So if you have a look at the subject outline, I'll just show you that. Week 14 is session 13. So because we're doing it online, we actually don't take the break in week 8. We take the break up here in week 15 and 16 to give you lots of time to prepare for your exam. Okay, so your assessment is due in session 13 here. Okay, so it says session 13. You've got the date up here as well, so it's due on Sunday, the 31st of January at 11:55 p.m. It is worth 40% of your mark. There are 80 marks allocated to it. You have 3,000 to 3,500 words to use on this. So the task is to design a business plan for a natural medicine practice. Now, I know that there are going to be some people who might want to create a product that they want to sell rather than have a practice. For the purposes of this assignment, we need it to be a natural medicine practice purely because there are some components of it that wouldn't actually apply if you were selling a product or something like that. If you were, selling a book or selling a supplement, there are things in this plan that wouldn't actually apply to that. So if you are one of those people who wants to do something that isn't a natural medicine practice, then you'll just need to do the natural medicine practice for your business plan and highlight the areas that you'll need to tweak for your own personal business when it comes time to actually using this in real life. So you need to include a marketing plan, operations plan, and financial plan. You'll be expected to address any legal considerations for your business. You will need to provide analysis that reflect broad research in business SWOT analysis, marketing demographics, psychographics of your potential customers, and you need to have knowledge of your competitors. So that sounds really big and scary and confusing, but what I'm going to do is show you exactly how to do it and show you how easy this can be. So you've got your assessment guidelines. You can use a template online, so business.gov is a good place to go, but you need to use this for layout only because each of the points on a template may not actually correspond with what we need you to do in this assignment. You may miss things that we want, and you may do extra things that we can't give you marks for. So if you do want to use a business plan template, you absolutely can, but please be mindful that what we need you to do is on the specification and the marking guide. You don't need to do any more, and please do not do any less. So you've got part A and part B. Each of them are worth 40 marks. You are getting 20% of the assignment from each of the parts as well. So they've got equal amount of importance placed on them. So part A, you need to do your business description, your mission statement, short, medium, and long-term aims and objectives. You need to do your regulatory requirements for the business, including sales and advertising, TGA, OH&S, local government, privacy, taxation, and businesses, for example, insurances. You need to have a look at the marketing plan, including demographic and psychographic analysis. You need to do a research and development section of your product and services. You've got your SWOT analysis, your risk analysis and contingency plan, and also your evaluation and justification of research methods and findings. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on the marking guide, because they're broken up a little bit more. You can use this marking guide as essentially the way that you structure your assessment. So you could use these as your headings. You can break them up a little bit more if you want to, but this is where you're getting your marks from. So you're getting 5 marks for your business description. So this is where we want to see what is your business? Are you a sole trader? Are you a limited liability company? Are you, what's your business name? What's your ABN or your ACN? What's your domain name? What are you going to focus on? Why are you doing this business? Where is it located? Give me an address. Even if you don't have a place in mind yet, have a look around your local area and think of a place that you want your business to be. And the reason that you need to give me an exact spot of your business is because you need to do a demographic analysis. And you can't do a demographic analysis unless you have an area that you want to investigate. Okay, so the good thing is, what I wanted to show you is that each of these sections corresponds with a session that you do within this subject. And the best way to do this is to go through and literally tick off a section every single week, and you can do that. So what I'm going to show you now is that by the end of this week and by the end of this session even, you can already tick off 2 sections of this whole business plan, which is pretty fantastic, and that should make you feel a lot better about doing this assignment. So the first thing you can tick off is your business description. You can do that. You can do that straight away. You can go, okay, what type of business am I going to be? What's my name going to be? Therefore, what's my domain name going to be? Where am I going to be located? Go through all of those little details and you're done. You can tick that off. That's finished. Even if you just do a draft copy of it so you can go back through at the end and make it look pretty and make it sound beautiful, just get it all down on the paper. Even get your dot points down. If you don't want to do a full version of it just yet, at least write it down, write something. Your mission statement, short, medium, and long-term goals. You can also do this at the end of this session. We want a mission statement that demonstrates long-term vision, attainable and precise expression of goals. So we want to have a look at short, medium, and long-term aims and objectives. So we want to have a look at things that are measurable and attainable. They're realistic. We want you to have things that are very, very clear and quite precise in your goals. So good things to use are making a certain amount of money, seeing a certain amount of clients, having a certain amount of referrals or making a certain amount of connections, perhaps hiring a particular number of staff members. All of these things that you can quantify are very, very good to use in your aims. Now, your mission statement is about who do you want to help? What do you want to do? Why do you want to do this business? What does the business plan to achieve? What is the mission of the business? So what you can do after doing those 2 things is you can essentially tick off 15 out of 40 marks in section A. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty easy, and you can do that right now. So your task once you finish this webinar is to go and start mind mapping, start writing down, start making some dot points under those headings for your business description, your mission statement, and your short, medium, and long-term goals. Easy, done. The next thing that I want to do is I want to show you how you can have a look on the subject outline to see when you can do certain parts of your business plan. Okay, so your marketing plan, demographic analysis, and regulation. So this point here contains quite a lot of different sections. So if you flick back over to your specification, you'll see that that one contains point 2 and point 3. Okay, so your regulatory requirements, your marketing plan, your demographic and psychographic analysis are all here. there's 10 marks for those guys. Okay, they're all there. Now, what you can do is have a look on your subject outline, and you'll see you've got legal, regulatory in weeks 3 and 4. And then you can do it at the end of week 4. You can tick off your legal and regulatory requirements, and then they are done. You'll need to wait until session 6 and 7 to do your marketing and demographic and psychographic analysis, but at the end of week 7 you can go and tick off your whole section here. Your SWOT analysis and contingency plan, let's have a look at where that is. SWOT analysis is in session 6, so at the end of session 6 you can get rid of your SWOT analysis, that's done. Evaluation and justification of research, that's something that you can kind of do at any stage and throughout. So this is where you want to show that the type of research that you have done and conducted demonstrates really good knowledge and understanding of what you actually need to investigate for your business plan. So how are you investigating your demographic and psychographic analysis? How do you know that you've gotten the right information and that you're considering the right things? So that one, there is no specific time that you need to do that, probably towards the end or towards the middle of writing your assignment. You've got then your operational plan and your key business management structure. Let's have a look at when they are. Let's go through here. Where is your operational plan? Your operational plan can probably be done at the end of session 11 with your workplace health and safety issues. I think that's probably the best time to do it. You will do quite a bit of it in your session 2, so you should be able to get most of your operational plan done now. You should be able to do that. What's next? Our key business management structure. That is right up the top as well. So who are the people in your business? What do they do? You can do them session 1, session 2. Next is financial plan. Your financial planning is in sessions 8 and session 9. So at the end of session 9, you can do your whole financial plan. Policies and procedures are in session 10. Once you've done session 10, you can tick off your policies and procedures. And then your executive summary is simply a big conclusion. So this is where you summarize the key points of every single section and you put it into a conclusion that is, for the purposes of this assessment, going to sit at the bottom of your assessment. But when it comes to actually using this plan, if you want to take it to a bank or a partner, then pop the executive summary up the top like an abstract for a journal article. How are we going so far? Are you feeling okay with this business plan? Are you, do you like the fact that you can get everything done week to week? How are you feeling? Any comments? Any questions? The other thing is you really need to have a look at the handouts. Now the handouts are very, very helpful because you know how I was going through and saying every section corresponds to a week? The good thing is that there is a handout in every week that's going to help you write exactly what you need to write for your business plan. So every single week, go in and have a look at the handouts. You'll notice that session 2 has a handout about business planning. They've got some disadvantages and advantages about conducting a small business. What did we need to do right at the start? We needed to do a business description. We needed to decide what our business was going to be. So this handout, perfect. What's happening in your business? What is your business going to be? So do that handout. Session 3, we've got legal aspects. So you can have a look at the handouts here. It's having a look at what are the types of things that you need to know about the legal aspects of your business. We've got law and ethics as well. Have a look in the handouts. What are TGA labeling requirements? All of these things that you probably wouldn't have thought of unless you jumped in here and had a look at the handouts. Let's take you up to week number 8. Let's have a look at the handouts here. You can see that there your break-even analysis, your balance sheet, all of these things, everything that you need to do your assignment is here for you. So that is essentially all I needed to go through with you today. The moral of this story is, while I know that as a student, and I have been a student as recently as a week ago, I know that there is a huge, I guess, desire to actually doing things quite last minute, leaving things to the last minute and thinking that you'll be able to get it done. Now, I'm here to tell you that you will be able to get it done, absolutely. If you set your mind to it, you can get it done last minute, but it won't be good and it won't help you. The whole point of this, like I've been saying, is that this is going to help you. This is what's going to help you actually decide what you're going to do in your business, and this is going to help protect you for anything that's going to come up that may be unexpected if you haven't done this business plan. So please do it week by week. It makes it much less stressful for you. It makes it actually quite a wonderful and enjoyable experience, and it's really, really fascinating if you spend the time to actually do this properly. So I really hope that you have found this beneficial. I want to thank you so very much for coming along and talking to me and for asking me questions. Please do have a chat to Alistair whenever you need to. Jump into the loop, talk to him there, have a look at the handouts, cross off sections of your business plan week by week, and you will absolutely love this subject. So thank you very, very much. Have a beautiful week, and I will chat to you very soon.